Welcome back to the Bombshell Business Podcast. I'm your host, Amber Hurdle, and I am coming to you from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've been on a road show with other businesses. We've been producing the Vacation Rental Talent Summit. We hit Sarasota. We were just in St. Augustine, and we will be in Fort Lauderdale this week. So if you are in the area, you're listening to this, you can still go to vrtalentsummit.com. This is Thursday when this will drop, and it happens Friday. We'd love to have you there. I think we kind of have a little bit of full house, but we should have some squeezing in room if possible. And then hopefully I'm going to get settled in my house, settled in my office, and I will not be coming to you from crazy locations like I have been so many times. You should see my whole getup. Like, typically, we do what we can do, whether we're speaking and presenting or podcasting or whatever, and we like take lampshades off and we'll figure it out. But I'm just going to tell you right now what's up. I'm using something that's holding like note cards in it and my laptop sitting on it. And there's this like groovy light right here, but it's not enough light. So I have my cell phone flashlight like sitting on my laptop coming at me like it's a whole thing. This is how dedicated I am to getting you this episode. That said, we got a little bit creative. I haven't had a chunk of time to really batch the episodes like I typically do with guests. And so I thought, we've been doing this over 6 years. I've never done an episode like this. I don't even remember when I started asking this question, but if you're a regular listener, at the end of every single show, no matter what the topic is, I ask, what is your parting piece of advice for a bombshell, a bold, brave, unwaveringly confident woman in business, knowing that when I say unwaveringly confident, it's not that we never get shaken or we never fall down. It's just when we fall down, we get back up. That's what I'm talking about. So that's you. That's why you're listening or watching this. And if that's not you, that's who you're aspiring to be. So you're welcome here. So we are going to just go over some of the most popular guests from 2022. And we are giving their answers just back to back. Shout out to Jean for slicing and dicing this and putting it together for you. And this will just be a little snack, but we're just going to hang out for a little bit today, and then we'll get back on track with full episodes, and I won't let you down. So I hope you enjoy this, and we will catch you on the next episode. What is the parting piece of advice that you would speak to a woman who really wants to step into her personal power?
To ask yourself these two questions. What do I need to do to feel the way I want to feel? Yeah. But first you got to decide how you want to feel. Another question to ask is, what would someone who loved themselves do? When you're at the crossroads, what would someone who loved themselves do? And we're all about entrepreneurship and business and getting shit done. Who do I need in my orbit to help me to get to where I want to go faster? So that you're not alone, so that you're not doing it by yourself. But when you ask yourself those three questions and you get to the last one, you understand also that in order to have people in my orbit to help me to get to where I want to go faster, we need to be attractive. And I'm not talking about looks, right? Yeah, looks helps. I'm also talking about the thoughts you think, the words you speak, the people you hang out with, the things that you do, and the reasons why you do it. And when we really start that self-design, this is why personal development cannot happen unless personal disruption happens first, to continually be disrupting ourselves so that we can evolve, push humanity forward, and do it with joy. Because when we continually push humanity forward and do it with joy, we will be so magnetic to be attracting the people into our orbit to help us to get to where we want to go faster. And then when you have the same type of people all reaching the same goals and having that same vibration, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So it adds even more to the evolution, even more to pushing humanity forward, and even more to joy. And that's basically the framework of creating a life by design and not by default, by living your life in spirit and inspired.
The best piece of advice I wish I had gotten a long time: don't overthink it. That is the most simple thing. Don't overthink it. If it jumps to you, it's in your heart, it's in your gut, just do it. It'll land well sometimes and others it won't. But I think for the most part, every time you have a gut instinct to do it, don't try to analyze it, and don't overthink everything that you do. It's your monkey mind will take you to places you don't want to go.
My parting advice is to stay curious, to continue to educate yourself, and to make sure that you have a sense of empathy. And part of that sense of empathy is going to help you in your business, because if you are focused on, I hope I make this money, I hope I close this deal, as opposed to realizing, and this comes into pricing too, what they hope to get out of it.
Yeah.
You need to know both sides of the desk, so to speak.
I would definitely say believe in yourself. I think that is the main thing. You know, you live with yourself, you talk with yourself every day. I think the relationship with yourself is usually the most important one you have. And believe in yourself. Don't wait around for somebody else to believe in you. You are enough. You have value. You can accomplish anything that you set your mind to, anything at all. So believe in yourself, and then slowly but surely you will see everybody around you starting to see you shining, and then believing in you as well and supporting you through your journey. So just believe in yourself and don't give up.
Well, first of all, the fact that you call yourselves bombshells means you're confident, right?
Yeah.
and
or working on it.
Yeah, confidence is, in my opinion, the most important thing you can have. You know, you want to have confidence in yourself, in your team, in your product, in your brand, and that you're going to win. You know you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, but you got to make sure you can pick yourself up and say, I'm not worried about it. I've got confidence that we're going to be fine. Yeah. Right. And, that confidence gets shaken a whole lot, but you can't lose sight of the fact of what you've already built. Right. I mean, look, if you've built a $50 million company, you're already successful. Yeah. Right. You already have the confidence to know that you can do that. Now you're ambitious and you want to get to 100 million. Well, you're going to get to 100 million because you're confident. Right. And then it's about, like we talked about, make sure you just surround yourself with the right team and the right people. Because if you have the right team and the right people and you're all confident and you're all bombshells, you're going to all do really good.
My final advice, my one nugget, I'll just leave with this, since we've talked a little bit about why it's so important to have people around you. I love this phrase, and it goes like this: big dreams require big teams. Big dreams require big teams. And side note, definition of team can be anything. It could be your little inner circle, this camaraderie that Amber and I have alluded to a few times, our little girl circle we have. It can be a membership like she and I both have, or a coaching program, or it can be a team, your literal team around you, your COO, your CMO, your VP of marketing, whomever, right? Your VAs, whatever. But just remember that you're not supposed to do it solo. So when you put everything on your own two shoulders and you wonder why it's so heavy, that's why.
Like, you are going to die. And I would invite you today to feel that. Feel your death, not as some morbid thing, but as a reality. I think so many of us were afraid because we're so busy resisting and avoiding death, looking good, avoiding death, failure. And in that resistance, we never fully just live life. Like, we're going to die. Whether you fail or you fall down, you're going to die. And so if death came right now, are you ready? Yeah. And if not, why not? What's ungiven? What's unsaid? What's unexpressed? What's uncreated? What's unwritten? What's unforgiven? Like the people we're just doing this interview, I'm not sure when people will listen, but just after 9/11, people in 9/11 had no idea that they weren't going to come home that night and look their loved ones in the eyes and say, hey, forgive me. I really love you, And I think many of us, we hold so much of our gifts and self back for some like imaginary special moment in the future. So I think if you can feel your death, it wakes you up to the preciousness that is life. We save that best dress for the party that never comes, forgetting that every moment of this wild, crazy, difficult, challenging, amazing existence is the very party itself. Even when you're on the floor, even when you're, not feeling like it, even when you feel like giving up, like you're still here. And so if death came, are you ready?
The piece of advice I would leave is that joy is a choice. I wrote a book, it's on Amazon if anybody's interested, but it's called Joy in Uncertainty, A Guide to Creating a Meaningful Life. And I launched it during COVID. And it just really shares some of my experiences that I went through from some health crisis in our family, just how I approach that while running businesses. And the biggest lesson that I have from all of that is that it's nobody else's responsibility to create joy in us. It's our choice. And so we get to be the leaders of our own joy.
It takes a lot of self-belief, and a lot of what I think it takes to be successful in business comes down to I would go back to an analogy that I learned from mountain bike racing. So in a mountain bike race, you start off and, hopefully you've done your preparation, your training, you start off and, you're halfway into, there's inevitably a big climb and you're suffering because you're on the edge of physical exhaustion and you're running out of oxygen. We live at 7,000 feet and we often mountain bike race to above 10,000 feet. So, you're pushing yourself as hard as you can. And there is many, many times that I've learned to say to myself, you're not the only person suffering here. Everybody else, in fact, mentally, you say, you know what, they're suffering more than you are. And so many times after the race, that maybe it hopefully, ideally turns out better than you were feeling at that moment where you crest the hill and you think you're about to black out because you're just down so low on your oxygen. You charge down the hill and you make it to the finish line, and then you kind of rehash the race with people and you're like, oh my God, I was suffering on the hill so much. And they were like, oh my God, I was going to die. I couldn't believe how hard you were pushing me. And then you realize that you were both pushing each other to the limit and you had no idea. So in my way of transposing that into business is that every time you are doubting yourself, part of the reason why you doubt yourself is because you think everybody around you has got it figured out. And the reality is that everyone is learning as they go. Yeah. And everyone makes mistakes. And everyone has the same set of challenges. So if you can kind of bring it down to, I'm not a loser, I've got this, and focus on what your core skills are and your belief in your idea, then I think that can often help you kind of overcome those challenges of thinking, this is never going to work. Because I'm very fond of saying in our team is like, don't tell me this isn't going to work. If you don't believe that this way of doing it is going to work, let's find a way to do it.
Every single day, get up and do the thing that is going to matter most in your business. Sometimes that's making those sales calls you don't want to make. Sometimes that's reaching out to your people. Sometimes that's answering that email you didn't want to do. And every single day, look at what's going to matter most to your business and do that thing first. Procrastination is not going to help you get there.
There are 13 things in the book, right? Exercises of, hey, there's this concept and here's how to work to address this one issue. And not all of them are going to be as immediately resonant to you as others. And if you look at all 13, it's like, oh, it's impossible, right? I'm not going to do anything. Having too much excuse to have nothing.
Right.
And so it matters far less what the one thing is than that you actually pick one thing and start doing it. Because back to getting those early wins, getting that confidence of, wait, I can do hard things. And when I do hard things, I get stronger. My life is better. Just start somewhere. There's a book Tim Ferriss did, The 4-Hour Body.
Yeah.
Which is this 900-page tome, right? Like, it's so intimidating.
It's so intense.
But it's broken into these 25 to 30-page modules. And it's how to lose 30 pounds of fat in 30 days without exercising, how to put on 30 pounds of muscle in 30 days with 4 hours in the gym. They're very discrete chunks. So you can dip in and out of like, oh, here's actually the thing how to prevent back pain. Okay, let me go read those 25 pages and those exercises. That's the thing I'm going to do. And that's really very much how I try to build this of, oh, is it I have an issue of running my mind to other people? Is it I have an issue running my mind to events and circumstances outside of my control, what the Dow Jones is doing, what the real estate market might do? Or, the biggest, and this is most people's problem, am I running my mind out to different versions of myself? Is it Gertrude? Is it the life I wish I had? Is it what I should have done in the past? And so those are the three big sections. And then each have subcategories within with, okay, here's why your brain works like this. here's how you can overcome it. Here's some illustrations from Dr. Bernice King, Martin Luther King study, from the founder of DocuSign, from the head of recruitment and training of the Navy SEALs, people from artists, founders, and people all different aspects of life who take these things and put them into practice to just accomplish incredible things. So you see what it looks like. And then it says, okay, now how do you do it? Here's the exercise. So just take one, right? Like, don't sit down and just speed through the book. Like, just start with one.
This might be a surprise to you, but I really think that the practice of self-compassion and self-kindness is the answer to so much for women. We are beating ourselves up, not giving us a chance, and to treat ourselves like we would a dear friend, a dear colleague, or dear family member. And that voice that narrates, you know, what we should do, shouldn't do, what we've done, what we did wrong, 1,000 different things, by giving us the same grace and love. When we move forward in this world, I think will keep us coming back stronger and more in our authentic power, and really bringing to this life everything that we want to bring it, and we are most deserving. So yeah, practice a little self-kindness every day.
So my parting advice is a tool that I teach in my book, Inner Voices. It's something I created. I was trying to find the most efficient way possible to help people identify the beliefs that are getting way. And it's what I call the one question. What am I believing right now that's making me feel this way? What am I believing right now that's making me feel this way? Which is a very loaded question, because it presumes that the way you feel is a product of a belief, and that if you can identify that belief, you can feel differently. And so once you identify what that belief is, then ask yourself another question, which is, if I believed the opposite of this, what would my life look like? And it's a way that you can really just shift into a totally different reality.